Hello everyone and welcome to this video, and I'm gonna talk about my trip to Ukraine I did in the middle of January. I was there to do a documentary. I did first a documentary about a Ukrainian girl that went to the border, met up with her brother just when the war started to give him some military stuff she had collected, and now she was gonna go into the country for the first time since the war started. So I was following her for the Swedish television where I'm doing a documentary, and I'm gonna talk about my experience, my thoughts about it, what you maybe can't really read in the media or see on social media, and also about my experience and the whole trip. So first, first we're gonna talk about the situation in the country, the people, and just regular life they have there. I first flew to Krakow, and then I took a lift with some Ukrainian people I found on the internet to Lviv in the west part of Ukraine, and it's really good to remember that. Even in war, the regular life continues in the way it can. Like when I was to Lviv, it's pretty regular life. Like people go to work, people out drinking coffee, maybe drinking beers, like trying to live just a normal life. Because it's not like the whole country is it's burning, and it's most of it. You need to remember, like the north part of Kiev and the east part of Ukraine, that's where the front is. So especially that's not make it like as a regular life is definitely when you come to the flight alarm. When the flight alarms come on, it's for me, for the first time, it was terrifying. I was sleeping, and then like in the morning it went on, and I could hear from the distance that the alarm was going, the coming alarm, and then it's coming closer and closer. So the first time I was so scared, I was sleeping with my clothes on because I didn't dare to just sleep in my underwear as I used to. So I was just flying up, knocking on his door. It's like, we need to get up, the flight alarm is here. And then she she was start to laugh a bit, and she said you can go down in the basement if you want to, but this house is so old, so we're gonna get stuck under it if the rocket's hitting us. So that's how many Ukrainians these days, after 1 year after the war, are looking at the whole situation. That when you have the flight alarm, when I was there, we had it 3 or 4 times. I don't really remember, but at the third time, I didn't really care so much as I did in the first. The first, there was heart beating. I was pretty scared, But then, in the third time, I was you're pretty chill about it. They have an app on the phone where they can see they have 3 scales on how dangerous the alarm is, and I was just talking to Risha and asked her what she was gonna do, and we were okay, we're going with the car. So and that's how people they don't, of course they care, but it's just that when it's being now like a regular life, that you have this on and on and on all the time. At 100 times you don't care anymore, because it's being the normal stuff for you. And I don't know if you can call it their comfort zone or something, but kind of their comfort zone right now, that now they do care, but they don't stress about it so much. They are so, they have such a strong will to be independent and to fight against the Russians, that everybody is supporting the troops there. Everybody wants to do something for the troops, and in the way they can do it. And I would say that was the best common part for me. Yeah, so after a couple of days outside Lviv, where she's born and raised in, we went with some support aid that she had been collecting, and it was me, Orisia, and 3 Ukrainian guys, such a nice guys, we had so much good time together, fun time together. They didn't talk so much English, but we get along, laughing. I get to know some Ukrainian words, so it was good. It's just that they were smoking all the time in the car, and there were no seat belts in the car. So I was so scared of that, because in Sweden at least, we always have the seat belts on. If you don't have the seat belts on, you're being so scared of it. I was so scared at the beginning, but then as a flight alarm, you get used to it. You don't think about it after a couple of hours. Yeah, so we were like going 150 kilometers, and when you're coming to the first checkpoint, then you like see this is the war going. Now the war started from here. Almost non-civilians up there. It's just you, like we were in an aid car, for support car, and then you just meet, military vehicles, and you're going through towns. There are almost not a single person in the cities or village. It's just you militaries and some old people that I guess don't have the energy to move around and stuff, that said, hey, I'm staying here no matter what. And so we were like, I can say we were around Kramatorsk. When you come there, you see house have been bombed, and when you're going further, it was a lot of checkpoints we have to go through. And when you come further, closer to the front, it's being more and more like you more and more realize that now it's just you and no one can help you. And if there's some kind of aid or medical, it's not for you, it's for the military. So we went through, you are going through a lot of checkpoints, and then it's being less and less cars and people, military cars just. And then when you come to the first village, but that's been bombed, it's horrific scene, it's like coming to a movie scene where you see, like I remember one village we came to, it was just, first I saw a big crater, and then it was just all the houses were so destroyed, everything, except the church. The church was the only thing that wasn't it. And so we are passing by, abandoned cities and village, bombed village mostly. And then when you're like coming closer and closer to the front, I was like being, I was feeling sick almost. Like I was being really, really afraid and nervous that what was gonna happen. And the 3 guys we went with, they were going once in a week for support. But I could notice on even them, they start to be being a bit afraid when we put the vests on, I put the helmet on, and even they, put the vest on. And also everybody went, pretty quiet when we were like, I just remember when we were going to 3 places we were gonna drop aid stuff to the soldiers. And at the first stop, there was, there's there being artillery many times, and I just remember our driver, he said that take down your windows, because if the bomb is coming, it's not good if it's coming splitter from the glass in your face. So we take down the windows, and we're coming closer, and then it's here in the forest the Ukrainians used to have tanks where they're hiding. And I mean, if the tanks are hiding there, it's pretty good chance that Russians are shooting artillery or something on it. But we were going further, closer and closer to the first spot, and the first spot it was artillery shooting when we was there. So first time you are so scared when you're going there the first 5 minutes, but then after 5 minutes you are like thinking, this is not too bad. Even if you have heard many you can feel it sometimes in your body, and at the first times you are being so afraid, but then after 5 minutes you stop to thinking about it. And I think that's most like my main part of it, that even if you even if you heard, you start to care about it. Like I've been to Mali and Afghanistan with the Swedish Armed Forces, and I was saying it's the same kind of feeling there, that you first being so afraid of it. Like I remember the first time I went on a foot patrol, social patrol in Afghanistan. You're so afraid at the time, you're being like, oh, what's happening? Oh, what's there? Who's that's coming? What car is that? But then when you're doing for the 5th time, you just notice the cars, and you're seeing kids coming and people coming towards you, passing you. You're being like pretty calm about it, and you start to picking out some targets and just you cannot be relaxed, but you need to be relaxed, because you can't be focused, for so long time. The head is gonna explode after a while then for you. So we went to the first checkpoint. We met some soldiers there, handing out some aid stuff to them, and then we were just going through to another place, and then we slept at the summer cottage where soldiers were sleeping, and I think that was a really rare and true moment, when we had the time to talk with them. They were giving us dinner. They were happy that, they have been in the war for 1 year now, so they had time to chat with us, and they were talking with us about the war and also like regular things, We was just having a good time there. And I just remember then they showed me some videos when they being under artillery, they have been, gunfires. One guy, he said it was 30 centimeters from them. He has been find bullets in his cars, and one time it was so much artillery, so everybody was just running away from the place where they were staying, because he said, I don't know where I run, I just need to run just to get away from the artillery. I lost all my men and I didn't know where nobody was. And he showed me one video when he's sitting there with his phone like this, like a selfie, and then it's raining artillery and he's like being like, ooh, and you can see he's just so hoping, I hope this is gonna be over. And we didn't talk so much, if they have been killing people and that stuff, because I think that's pretty disrespectful and it's pretty obvious. I guess they have. And we continue, and then we come to, first, at the first tank I saw, I stopped and took a footage of it and everything, and then when you come to the 10th tank that's being abandoned and burned out, and of course it was a Russian. Yeah, so burned out tanks and burned out villages and houses, that was a common scene after a while. Just remember one village we came to, our town, Izyum. It was a lot in the newspaper about it, that there's been, that there was a big, the Russians have been killing a lot of civilians there. They found mass graves, and we went to the city, and the whole city was just burned out. There was, I guess now they start to having some kind of stores, maybe some people moved there again, but yeah, we were watching, it was so hard to believe, when you saw, it was, big houses burned out, some apartments house that's just being totally ruined, burned down, and it was hard to believe that was like a movie scene, because it felt like a really movie scene, And then we came, and then we went to the industry area where in the industry factory, maybe it was a pretty small one, and that was the place where the Russians has been they've been probably tortured, killing people, and so the Ukrainians, as I understand it, they just bombed it out when they're gonna take over the place again, seize the place. And then behind the forest there, it was the big mass grave they have found there. And we didn't go up there, but you could feel something in your heart that something had happened at this place and at the forest. It was like a big ghost town, and there was. It's really hard to explain how it feels, but just that when you meet people there, we met a Ukrainian couple. They were standing there and looking at their old town and I guess house as well, and they were they were just, they had not so much to say. They were just yeah, we're here for the first time here since we have to leave our homes, and now we're checking out and everything is destroyed. But yeah, we are alive. And it's just hard to realize their situation there. Yeah, so we went through more village houses, met old people that was, they had nothing and they were so scared still for the Russians to come again. And we met one old man. He had his house burned down. He had nothing left, and we gave him some food and some drinks and as well that he could have, and he was really happy for that. Yeah, and then we were there for maybe 4 days or something, and meeting up with soldiers, giving them food, the support aid, sleeping at the house, and then we went back and was outside Lviv for a couple of days. And then we went back to Sweden. My summary is really that, first of it, the Ukrainian people, you must really I really have no words to describe how their strong will to be independent is, and how that the whole country is really behind the armed forces. That even if you're voting left or right or wherever you are, if you're against another people, everybody is just having the same goal now. They want not to be a part of Russia, and the only wish is to be independent. And as one Ukrainian told me that, and as a Ukrainian guy told me that we'd rather die than be Russians again. And that's, I think, pretty sums up pretty well that they have been, and she was often talking about that they have been waiting for this like since they become independent after the fall of Soviet Union. They have been waiting for this day that Russia is going to attack them again. So for them it was not a question if, just when. And now the day had come for almost a year ago. And then the second is that it's just that, you know, how much damage it's been on the Ukraine and in the villages, houses, and the soul of Ukraine. That, you know, when I went through cities that been bombed out, it's like, of course they can rebuild everything, but you know, it's also going to have a scar in the national soul. But it's also on the other side, it's built much more stronger will. That Orisha that I'm follow, she said that now people, I think, have just realized how much we love our country and that we all just want to be independent Ukrainians. So we appreciate everything we had and that we are gonna to have, that they have no other choice than win this war. And I also need to give a big shout out, or whatever we say, to all the soldiers that are fighting there. That when we were hanging out with the soldiers, some of them were in really good mood. They like talking, and I guess they didn't want to talk so much about it. But I remember one guy, he was like, he couldn't sleep. He told me that he was so worried, you know, so much thoughts in his head, and worry about the future. That even for them, like when we were sleeping at the cottage, I just remember that I said to one guy that, shit, we are so close, you know, to the front now. And they were like almost laughing at me and said that, no, come on, you're far away. But we were, and the closest, we were 5 kilometers to the Russian side. It's just for their reality is, they don't see it, that they are in a danger when they are at the house where they are sleeping and recovering. But as we were saying before, we were going to sleep in the summer cottage. We said that, okay, we are so close now to the front that they could definitely shoot some bombs and also artillery at our house right now. We don't know, but you know, if you're there for even, I guess, after 1 month, you don't care so much about it. If you've been to gunfire, you've been close to death 5 times, you start to really, you're just accepting the death. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed my thoughts about it, and that I'm describing pretty much the whole trip. And I will go there again, so I will do a new review, but my story about it and my thoughts about it. And I hope you, just comment whatever you think of it, and subscribe if you want to. Cheers.